Before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share this video. You won't want to miss what we're about to uncover. In the heart of Kenya, a story unfolds that has gripped the nation and the world beyond. Today, we delve into the curious case of Ruth Kamande, a tale that intertwines beauty, love, and a shocking act of violence. Ruth, a former beauty queen, now holds a title of a different kind, a murder convict. This drastic shift from grace to disgrace is what makes her story so intriguing. Born and raised in Nairobi, Ruth Kamande was not just another face in the crowd. She was known for her beauty and charm, qualities that once earned her the coveted title of Miss Langata Prison in 2016. However, beneath this radiant exterior, a storm was brewing. In a horrifying turn of events, Ruth was convicted for the brutal murder of her boyfriend, an act she committed by stabbing him 25 times. The gruesome nature of the crime sent shockwaves across the country, turning Ruth Kamande into a household name overnight. As the news spread, media outlets descended, eager to dissect the case, turning this personal tragedy into a public spectacle. Their fascination, mirrored by the public, was not just with the crime itself, but with the woman behind it. A beauty queen turned murder convict was a narrative too sensational to resist. The plot thickened when Ruth was granted permission to appeal her death sentence at the Supreme Court. This news sparked a flurry of speculation. Would Ruth's beauty sway the court? Could her sentence be reduced? Or would justice remain unyielding? As the appeal lingers in the balance, the public waits with bated breath, their eyes glued to their screens, their minds filled with questions. What do you think led Ruth Kamande to commit such a violent act? Share your thoughts in the comments. A beauty queen admired by many, but behind the crown a darker reality was taking shape. Imagine a radiant young woman poised with a captivating smile that could light up a room. That was Ruth Kamande, a beauty queen who once graced the stage with her elegance and charm. She was a symbol of grace and glamour, a role model for young girls who dreamed of following in her footsteps. But beyond the glitz and glamour, a storm was quietly brewing. Before her life took a grim turn, Ruth was known for her striking beauty and charismatic aura. She wore the crown with pride, representing her country on various platforms. Her life seemed picture perfect, a fairy tale many would envy. But as the saying goes, not everything that glitters is gold. In stark contrast to her time under the spotlight, Ruth's current situation is a far cry from the dazzling world she once knew. Now, she's a name associated with a horrifying crime, a murder convict serving a death sentence. Her crown has been replaced with the label of a convict, her beauty pageant sash with prison garb. It's a tale of two worlds, a beauty queen's fall from grace. Ruth's story serves as a chilling reminder that appearances can be deceiving, that beneath the surface of a seemingly perfect life, darker realities can lurk. But here's a question to ponder. Does Ruth's past as a beauty queen, her former life filled with elegance and charm, affect your perception of her crime? How so? A brutal act of violence, a life taken too soon. Let's delve into the chilling details of the crime scene. In the heart of Nairobi, Kenya, a blood-curdling scene unfolded. A once peaceful apartment turned into a chilling tableau of violence and death. The crime scene was a testament to the brutality of the act. The room was a chaos of scattered belongings, blood splatters painting a gruesome picture on the walls and floor, a silent scream of the horror that transpired. A young man, life snuffed out in the prime of his youth, lay lifeless. He had been stabbed 25 times. Each stab wound a testament to the ferocity of the assault. The sheer number of times the victim was stabbed speaks volumes about the intensity of the act. It wasn't a crime of necessity, but one of passion, of rage unleashed. The immediate aftermath was a scene of pandemonium. Neighbors, drawn to the scene by the commotion, their faces a mixture of shock and horror as they took in the sight. The wailing sirens of police cars and ambulances echoed through the narrow streets as the first responders arrived. The frantic efforts to save a life already lost, the futile attempts to restore order in a world turned upside down by the savage act. The crime scene investigators arrived, their faces grim, their movements precise. They methodically examined the scene, collected evidence, their every action a silent prayer to find the answers hidden within the chaos. The room was no longer just a room, it was a silent witness, a holder of secrets. a key to understanding the monster that committed the heinous act. The brutality of the act, the horror of the scene, the shock of the aftermath, all pointed to a disturbing question. Could this crime have been prevented? What signs, if any, were missed? How did a love story turn into a horrifying tale of murder? As we delve deeper into this case, we hope to unravel the mysteries that surround this chilling crime. Could this crime have been prevented? What signs, if any, were missed? A courtroom filled with anticipation, a verdict that would shock the nation. Imagine the scene, a hushed courtroom, the air heavy with suspense. At the heart of it all, Ruth Kamande, the former beauty queen, now standing trial for the brutal murder of her boyfriend. As the trial unfolded, the evidence presented painted a chilling picture. The prosecution meticulously laid out the grim details, recounting how Kamande stabbed her boyfriend 25 times in a fit of rage. The defense, on the other hand, portrayed Kamande as a victim herself, a young woman driven to the edge by a toxic relationship. The case was a media spectacle, each day bringing forth new revelations, new twists. The public watched, captivated, as the trial unfolded. Courtroom sketches of Kamande, clad in somber attire, her beauty queen smile replaced by a stoic expression, made headlines day after day. The media coverage was relentless, the public's fascination insatiable. Then came the verdict. The gavel fell, the room fell silent. Ruth Kamande was found guilty and sentenced to death. The decision was polarizing. Some hailed it as a victory for justice, a stern message to potential perpetrators. Yet others saw it as a tragic end for a young woman whose life had taken a dark turn. The death sentence, a rare occurrence in today's justice system, sparked widespread debate. Advocacy groups were quick to voice their opposition, citing the death penalty as a cruel and inhumane punishment. The public was torn, their reactions a reflection of the divided opinion on capital punishment. The trial of Ruth Kamande was more than just a court case. It was a spectacle, a media circus, a reflection of societal views on crime, punishment, and the justice system. It raised questions about the nature of justice and the purpose of punishment. Do you agree with the verdict? Why or why not? From a death sentence to a glimmer of hope, we now turn our focus to Ruth's appeal. In the labyrinth of the justice system, an appeal is akin to a desperate cry for a second chance. It's a legal proceeding where the convict requests a higher court to review and change the decision of a lower court. In Ruth Kamande's case, it's her plea from death row to the Supreme Court, her last bastion of hope. So what exactly is the basis of her appeal? Well, it's not a simple, "I didn't do it" plea. Ruth's lawyers are arguing that the trial court made errors of law during her case, errors significant enough to have influenced the outcome of her trial. They're also contending that the death penalty is a cruel, inhuman punishment, a violation of Ruth's rights. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room: public speculation. The Ruth Kamande case has been under the media's microscope from the get-go, and with her appeal, the chatter has only grown louder. Some believe she's a remorseless killer who deserves her sentence. Others argue that her youth and lack of criminal record should be factored in, pleading for leniency. The Supreme Court's decision will not only affect Ruth's fate, but also set a precedent for future cases. The stakes are high, the pressure's on, and the world is waiting with bated breath. The appeal process can be a lengthy one, often stretching over months, even years. During this time, Ruth remains on death row, her fate hanging in the balance. Will the Supreme Court be her redemption, or will it reaffirm her path to the gallows? As we delve deeper into this riveting case, we're reminded that justice isn't just about punishing the guilty, it's also about ensuring the punishment fits the crime. What do you think the outcome of the appeal will be? Share your predictions. Beyond the headlines, this case carries far-reaching implications. The story of Ruth Kamande isn't just about a beauty queen turned convict. It's a narrative that touches on some of the most contentious issues of our time. Let's start with domestic violence, a plague that continues to shadow societies around the globe. Ruth's case brings this often hidden issue into the limelight. It forces us to question whether we're doing enough to address and prevent such violence. Are we providing adequate support for victims? Are we educating our communities about the severity and consequences of domestic abuse? Then, there's the matter of the death penalty. Ruth's case has sparked renewed debate on this age-old practice. Some argue that it serves as a deterrent, while others view it as a gross violation of human rights. The fact that Ruth's appeal has reached the Supreme Court demonstrates the complexity and divisiveness of this issue. Lastly, we need to consider the public's perception of crime and punishment. Ruth's case, with its media frenzy and speculative commentary, raises questions about the influence of public opinion on legal proceedings. Are we as a society too quick to judge and condemn based on sensational headlines? Do we allow our biases to cloud our judgment and understanding of justice? These broader implications extend far beyond Ruth Kamande's individual story. They challenge us to critically reflect on our values, our systems, and our responsibility towards each other. What broader implications do you see arising from Ruth's case? How has it influenced your views on these issues? As we conclude this deep dive into Ruth Kamande's case, we encourage you to reflect on the issues it raises. From a beauty queen's fall from grace to a gripping courtroom drama, Ruth's story is as compelling as it is tragic. Her crime, the subsequent trial, and the appeal that followed all serve as stark reminders of the complex intersection between justice, morality, and society. But beyond the sensational headlines, Ruth's case also raises broader questions about our justice system. The debate over her death sentence brings to the forefront the ethical dilemmas surrounding capital punishment and the potential for reform within our courts. So, as we wrap up, remember, these are not just stories, but real situations affecting real lives. It's up to us to grapple with these tough questions, to challenge our preconceptions, and to strive for a more empathetic and understanding society. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Keep the conversation going in the comments, and stay tuned for more thought-provoking content.